Hey gang, it's David again, back to you with yet another Oxygen tutorial. And actually this is going to be like the first part in a small series that I'm planning on doing. And that series will be about redesigning my own website that really needed a redesign. So this is what I'll be doing in the next few videos. So this is basically what we're going to be doing. I've created this design in Affinity Designer. And I wanted to go for like a simpler approach, but at the same time, like, like in-your-face approach. I wanted to have all the most important information easily available. So I got some typical cards, some like Web 3.0 elements here, like this image like going out of bounds a bit, and this this heading going like over the image. I got a navigation, like a very generic logo. I gotta admit, and I got some icons, I got some portfolio items right here, my courses, and contact information. And here on the side, I've created like a quick, like a reference for the responsive version of the page. And I've also created like this About Me page right here. And I've created this portfolio page right here as well. And then About Me, well, this is the my courses page. And also I've created this About Me page, well, this Contact Me page rather, right here. So since this is a redesign of my existing page, I already have some elements right here. So I got my courses, for instance. So this is a custom post type that I created with the CPTUI plugin right here. And I've also have the custom fields like the ACF plugin as well. So I also have the Contact Form 7 plugin added, and I already have like custom CSS for this, but we're gonna look at it later. And I think I need to, because I have some pages that I've added. I removed some old pages, so I'm gonna go to the appearance and the menus, and I'm gonna start with like customizing this menu, because it needs a redesign as well. So I'm just going to remove all of these elements, my books as well. So I'm going to leave the contact for now. I don't think I'm going to add the offer part, well, the offer page, because I think I need to work on my offer a bit more. So I'm just going to leave this out of this menu. So the contact is going to be the last one. Of course, home is going to go to the top. And I still need to add the About Me page. I don't think I've created it, so I'm just going to create it in just a second. So the courses, like that. So I'm going to go to pages. Let me see if I don't have that About Me page. I don't think I do, so I'm going to add it now. It's kind of an important page, so I'm going to add that. And again, I'm going to go to my menus. And I'm just going to add that page to the menu, and it's gonna go maybe somewhere here. So of course I've got Oxygen installed right here, and I have to save the menu first. And I think I'm gonna need to remove some templates. I think I'm gonna remove all of them. I'm gonna start from scratch because I really don't like the previous design, and I just want to forget about it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just select all of them, and I'm just gonna move them to trash. Sorry guys, but you are going to trash. And yeah, so now as usual, I'm gonna start with a new main template. So I'm just gonna call it, maybe I'm gonna call it new main. Why not? I'm gonna publish this, and of course we need to tell it to catch all the pages. I'm gonna update this guy. And if we take a look at our design, basically what I would like to do with the main template is to add this header right here. So this image, this heading, and the logo and the links. But also, I think I'm gonna add this contact part right here, because it basically is the same on every page. So I think that I'm gonna also do it. I'm going to include it in my main template. But of course, before we move on to that, I'm going to add my main colors. I think I'm going to include the white as well. Why not? So I got 3 colors basically, so not too many. And the font that I'm using is called, it's a really funky name, Yantra Manav or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you know how to correct that, or I mean, how to correctly pronounce that, you can share that in the comments below. But yeah, this is the font that I'm gonna be using. So I'm gonna go back to my page and I'm gonna edit this template with Oxygen. So let's go to our settings and let's go to global styles, and I'm gonna add like this new color set. I'm gonna call it like let's say like new design. There we go. I'm gonna add this, and let's grab the first color. So this is this guy. I'm gonna call it like, I don't know, main red or something like that. I'm not sure if it's like technically a red color, but you know, the name's gotta be simple. So that guy, I'm gonna call it line, and the next one is gonna be like soft red. And I'm gonna grab this guy right here. It's like an extremely soft red. It's like rather a soft pink. So let's do like soft pink and add that color. And my main color is almost black. I mean, this like text color, but it's not really black. And this is what I'm gonna call it. Not really black. And I'm gonna add that. And I think I'm gonna add just white, you know, because this one is gonna be just not red, but it's gonna be just white. And I'm gonna save this guy. Now let's move on to the fonts. So let's move to fonts. I think it was Jan Tramanov. There we go. And same for this guy, Jan Tramanov. And I'm gonna save this. I also would like to add some utility classes. So I'm gonna go to manage selectors and I'm gonna add a selector. I usually want to do like transitions. So I'd like to have like a transition class ready. So I'm gonna go to advanced effects, transition, and I'm just going to add something like 0.3 seconds, and all of the properties are going to be affected. So I just usually do something like this, very quick, and this should be all right. And I'm also going to be needing quite a lot of margins. So I'm going to do something like margin bottom, let's do like S, so it's going to be small. And I'm gonna go to size and spacing, and I'm gonna do like 25 pixels of margin. This should be enough. Then I'm gonna do like margin bottom M, and that's gonna be 50, and that should be enough as well for the margin bottom M. And margin bottom like L or XL. For now, I'm just gonna do like 75. This should also be enough. Also, from the global styles, I'm going to choose the headings, and I think I'm going to remove all of these elements right here. Maybe I'm just going to leave the 1.1 line height for the H1. I'm not sure if I'm going to be, maybe I'm going to be using it right here for this guy right here. We'll see. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that, but I'm definitely going to remove all of these elements. I would like to add classes to my headings, so I don't want these elements to be kind of like getting in the way of our classes. But I'm not going to be adding the heading classes just yet, because I still would like to, you know, I like to preview what my design is going to actually look like when I start to put it onto my like page, because you know I might change my mind, and I usually do. So I'm gonna do a class for my headings, you know, a bit later. But I'm also gonna check the body text. I'm gonna change the color to our almost black color, not really black. And let's see, the line height would 1.6 should be okay. Now I've set it to 18 points, this font, so let's see. Let's do 18 points. We'll see how that goes. Font weight should be all right. So if the font size is set to 18 pixels, line height 1.6, let's do 1.8. I usually like to add like 10 pixels of to the font size. I know it's not technically 18 pixels, but you know, we'll see. As I said, I tend to change my mind over and over again. So yeah, so I like to leave some room for that kind of flexibility. So we got the colors, we got some custom classes, especially for the margins, to keep them consistent. I'm also going to go to our sections and columns, and I've decided to leave the padding for the columns on left and right. This should be enough, and I tend to use the section container padding like as default. This like oxygen default thin is quite all right. And I'm also not going to be touching the default section container padding that's set like that, always with oxygen. For now, I'm going to leave it like that. This tends to work fine usually with my designs. Of course, we can change that later if you want to. So yeah, I think we can start adding our first elements. So if we take a look at our design, you can see that the first thing that I would want to do is to first create like a header section right here with these elements. So this image, the heading, and the logo and the menu. And as you can see, it has this kind of it's going to be really a gradient background right here to create this kind of an effect. So I think that the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just create some columns or just two divs. That's going to be something like 70-30%, and then I'm going to add the background to our section. And just we'll see how that works. So I'm going to start with adding a simple section. I'm going to go to advanced background. I'm going to go to down here, and I'm just going to add two colors. And the first one is going to be our new design guy right here, I think. Let me see. No, it's going to be the soft pink. So soft pink on the left. I don't think I've added my just white. It didn't get added. So I'm just going to save this guy. I'm quickly going to go to my settings, then colors, new design, add that just white color, and let me just add it as the second color right here. And I want to change the angle to 90, and I'm going to change this value to something like 70%. This should be all right. And let's change this guy to 30. It can be percent, it can be pixels. Yeah, this should be all right. Let's close the structure. And yeah, this should be fine. So now that I got my section, I'm gonna add the columns inside, and I'm gonna go with 60-40, something like that. But maybe I'm just gonna grab this first div, and let's see, maybe I'm just gonna make it just a bit bigger to something like 66%. Let me just off-click these. Yeah, I think that this should be all right. And as you can see, since we set our background gradient to 70-30, it kind of looks like it's a bit bigger right here, and well, bigger than this column. But maybe we're gonna change that. So maybe let's actually reverse that thinking. So I'm gonna grab this div and I'm gonna make it 70%. Like that, and this div is set to 30%. So now when I go to my background gradient, I'm gonna set this guy to 60 and this guy to 40. So I'm just going to quickly hide these for now. So if we go to our first div, I want to actually go to the background, and I'm gonna add this image as a background. And now, of course, I don't want to set this, I don't want this image to look like that, and I don't want it to cover my whole div. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to no repeat and also to contain, like that. But right now, this image has been contained to the size of our div. So we need to change the size of the div that's at the same time going to be changing the size of our image. So let's say that I want to make my div, I want to set it to something like 450, and I'm just going to quickly hide these guys. And I think that the size of the image is going to be just fine, but of course I need to move this image to the side. So let me just make sure that I'm on the right div. So I'm going to go to advanced background, and I'm just going to use the left, this positioning option. I'm going to set it to 100%, and this is going to make this, create basically this effect. So now when we add the heading, and I'm going to just type in hey, David. There we go. And of course, without that space. Now when we make it, well, give it a different color first, and then I'm gonna make it significantly bigger, something like, I don't know, maybe even 80. Let's see. 80 should be enough. And I think I'm gonna also change let's see, the line height. I think it's by default set to 1, so I'm gonna go 1.1, so I'm gonna go with 1. Usually with like bigger font sizes, sometimes the line height, will adapt to the font size. So if we go something crazy and like 1.3, which is really not crazy, but in relation to the font size, you can see what's happening. So I'm gonna go with 1. And the font weight, I think it's black, so we need to make it significantly bolder. So like 800. Let's see, 900. No, 800 is going to be like, I think, the blackest, the boldest right here. So beneath that guy, I'm going to add a piece of text. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this text, or David if you prefer, because almost no one pronounces my name like that when they see this W right here. So I'm gonna leave it as or David if you prefer, and that's the same color, and it's set to 32 points. So let's see if that's gonna work. So I'm gonna set it to 32, and the font weight is regular, so I'm gonna leave it as regular. So let's hide these guys. So this is what we have right now. I'm going to save this guy. So now we still have to like play around with this text and this subtext. So first of all, I want to put them to the bottom. So I'm going to go to my div, and I'm going to choose the vertical item alignment to the bottom. And I'm going to, I think that I need to make this font a little bit bigger. Let's see something like 100 or maybe 120. And let's see, let's hide. Yeah, let's leave it like that. As you can see, we don't really even have to like move this guy to the side. I think that once we made this font look bigger, it's already, I think it looks nice now that I'm looking at it like on a real page. I think it looks all right. This text is quite legible right here, and I don't think I have to do anything more with this. Yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to add the logo on the side. So I'm going to add an image, and I think I'm still going to have to like upload that logo. Let's do like this bigger, like better resolution logo. So I'm going to select that, and let's see what the height is right here. That's 56. So let's try 56 of height. There we go. So beneath my logo, I'm gonna add the Pro menu, like that. And I only have the one menu, but still I'm gonna select it. And I think I'm gonna go to the mobile menu once this page hits 992. I think this is where my responsiveness is gonna kick in. And for the desktop menu, I want this guy to be vertical, and I want the color to be black. There we go. The font weight is all right. I think that the padding is also all right. Let me just, yeah, it should be fine. So I'm gonna go to my hover and active, and hover text color is gonna be this one. And the active color is gonna be the same color. And the transition duration, let's do 0.3. This should be enough. So let's check out. Yeah, it looks fine. So basically what we need to do is we need to just play around with the padding. So I'm gonna go to size and spacing. So let's see actually what this guy looks like right here. So that's around 90. So let's check 90. And on the side, it's around, let's say that it's 60. So let's add 60 pixels of padding like that, and I'm gonna hide all of these elements, and this is basically what we have right now. So now we could simply grab the image and maybe use our utility class. Let's try margin bottom S just to move this menu a bit to the bottom. And yeah, I think it looks quite all right. Everything is working as expected right now. So our heading is looking something like this. It kind of looks all right. So I think that we need to start looking at the responsiveness part of it. So 992 doesn't look all that great. We have actually quite a lot of problems right here. So I think that what I would like to do, if I just take a look at my reference design, so I'd like to put these guys like this logo on the left, the menu on the right. So I'm gonna just go back to Firefox. So of course we need to change the icon, but I'm not like the biggest fan of the icons that we can find here. I mean, they're not bad, but I think I'm going to use an icon from a different set. So I'm going to go back to admin panel, and I'm going to go to oxygen, and I'm going to go to settings, to SVG sets, and I'm going to call it, I usually use the material icons, and I'm going to try to find my icon sets. I think I have them somewhere here. And this is going to be this material and the symbol devs.svg file. So if you don't know how to upload these icons to your page, you can follow the official tutorial on how to do just that. I'm just going to click open, and I'm going to hit import SVG set. It's gonna get imported. Okay, let's regenerate the cache, and I'm just going to save this guy and refresh. And again, we need to go to our 992, grab our icon, and I'm gonna go to mobile menu, open icon layout, and I'm gonna now choose my material set. So I'll simply start typing the menu. Let's see what we have here. So we got this classic hamburger icon. We also have this like menu open, kind of a funky thing. We have this segment. Let's try this one. You know what? I think that it looks all right. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to open this guy, and let's go to close icon layout, and let's try to find something different here. Of course, I don't need the text. Let's try to find something like close. Maybe we're gonna have something like that. Not really. So let me just quickly find that icon. So it's this guy right here, clear. So I'm gonna use that. And I want this guy to go to the left, so I'm going to do something like icon to the right, so I can position left something like 90%. This should be enough. Let's change the icon color to our black color. And let me just quickly see our mobile menu. Let me just try to quickly find it. This is this guy right here. And we got a different background color. I think I should add this one as well. Let's see, it's my favorite, F8. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna go to menu styles, and I'm gonna choose off canvas, and I'm gonna set it to 100%. There we go. And I'm gonna choose the background color. So let's do that F8, and let's do link text to black and hover to this guy right here, and the items are aligned to the left as far as I remember. And let's set the off canvas animation to let's do like flip right, why not? So I'm going to save this guy. So basically what I want is I actually want to do two things. I want this heading to be smaller, and I want this heading to go beneath the photo. So I'm gonna maybe start with grabbing the div, and I'm going to go to size and spacing, and I'm going to add like a lot of padding. Let's see, like 500 pixels, just to kind of like move this this heading to the bottom. Let's see, 600. Now maybe it's going to look a bit better when we grab the heading and actually maybe make this guy just a bit smaller. Maybe let's do something like this. Let's do let's try to do like 100. That's maybe a bit too much. if we do like maybe 92, we're gonna have this like an effect, like this heading is still kind of like overlapping the image, and we have this text here at the bottom. And let's go to 480 like that, and I'm gonna grab this text and I'm gonna make it smaller. Let's try something like 66, but let's also grab this div and let's make the padding a bit smaller to something like 400, or yeah, 400 actually looks okay. And it all looks okay. So hey, I'm David, or David if you prefer, that looks fine. So let's go to desktop. Let's go to this 112. It looks all right. 992. This is where it starts to like our menu starts to turn to mobile. 768 and then 480. Yeah, it all looks all right. So I'm gonna save this guy. So let's say that our heading is complete. So now all we need is just a simple inner content right here. So I'm also going to clone this section and I'm gonna put it down here. But all I want really is just a section, because I want these this background gradient to be consistent. I'm just going to remove this this columns module altogether, and I'm gonna add another one that's gonna have like columns set to maybe like 50-50. This should be fine. We can we can always change that later. And inside this columns module, inside this div on the left, I'm just going to add the shortcode. And that's gonna have its width set to 100%. There we go. And of course, I still need the shortcode itself. So I'm gonna go to admin. I'm gonna go to my contact form 7, and I'm just going to copy this one, and I'm gonna go to the shortcode, and I'm gonna paste that shortcode in, and we got my previously created form element. And of course it's not supposed to look like that. We're gonna have to change quite a lot about it, but I guess we're gonna do it a bit later, because I think that this is quite enough for the part one. We created our like this main header right here. We added the inner content, and we got this this contact form right here down at the bottom. So this is our main template actually created. So yeah, so in the next video we're gonna start, or maybe we're gonna start customizing this contact form. I want it to look something like this, and we're gonna have to create quite a lot of code. And as you can see, we also still need to create this heading, this small piece of text, this email, social media link right here, and of course this needs to be changed as well. But let's start doing that next. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and as always, have a nice design.